Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Techno Talks here. So in today's video, we're going to be checking out the newly released Google Pixel 6a. So this device is going to be another A series for the 6 series lineup of the Pixel devices, and it was about time. It's been a couple of months since the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pro have been released, so we were long awaiting the Pixel 6a, and they finally released it. So quick, let's talk about the price on this device. This will run you around $449 on the Google store, and then you could probably find some deals. Probably not right now since it just released, but maybe in a couple months you could probably get this for cheaper on Amazon or some other website. So let's go ahead and open this device up. So we get 3 color options. We get Sage, Charcoal, and we also get Chalk. Chalk is going to be the more whiter color. We get Charcoal, which is going to be the darker color, and then we get Sage, which is going to be the green, which I actually went ahead and got since I wanted something different. The white and the black you usually get with all devices, and so I wanted to go with a green color. So the box is fairly small. It's not too big compared to most other devices I've been unboxing usually. This is actually a lot smaller than them, and the main reason for that is because this does have a 6.1-inch display, which is a big factor in that, as recently devices have been getting huge. You get like 6.7-inch displays with all the Pro and Ultra and Max models, and then you get like 6.5 inches or 6.4 inches with like Plus models, and you finally get the 6-inch mark with the smaller devices and more budget devices. I honestly prefer this size. It's a lot more comfortable with one-handed usability. I am currently using the Pixel 6 Pro, and sometimes it does get annoying. You're not able to use it with one hand, let's say when you're in bed or something, and so I would actually prefer a smaller device. So let's open this up. We do have the 128 gigabyte with 6 gigabytes of RAM, so there is actually, I believe, only 2 options. You get a higher storage, but the RAM option is the same, so it's 6 gigabytes all throughout every single model, and I believe you can get a 256 variant. So let's open this up. All right, easy pull tabs, nothing on the outside of the box, so let's set that aside. And here we have the device. Usually with Pixel devices, we don't actually see the back part of the display, back part first. You actually go ahead and see the display first, but this time they went ahead and did this. I honestly prefer this. You're able to see the design of the phone when you first open it up. So again, I did get this green color, which is honestly looking really nice right now. It feels really nice in the hand and is looking really nice. And then we also have this nice little sticker on top, which gives you some information. So fingerprints right here, SIM card slot right there, volume rocker buttons, power button, and then we also have a charging down here at USB-C. So let's set this aside right here and check out everything else. So we do get a charging cable, USB-C to C, and I believe this charges at 18 watts. And we also get a 4400 milliamp hour battery, and to be exact, it's 4410. So you do get a little more than 4400. It's not the largest, but it is still a pretty large battery for this device right here in this compact style. I have the S22 Plus, and I believe I'm getting 3800 milliamp hours or 4000 milliamp hours. So it's even less than that compared to the 6A. And we also do get some other budget friendly noticeable features. Well, actually we get some downgrades compared to the Pro devices, and one of those is going to be the 60 Hz display, which will actually help with battery life. So it does come with the Google Tensor, uses the same chipset as the Pixel 6 Pro and the 6, so you shouldn't have any issues there. We also get a SIM card ejection tool right there. So let's all go ahead and set all this down. And then Google always includes this. This is going to be a USB-A to USB-C, so you can plug it into your phone and transfer all your files and information from other devices. So I'm going to go ahead and take the sticker off real quick. Voila. Put this inside of its box, set it in there, move all this across. All right, just keep that right there. And here we have our Pixel 6a. So overall, my first initial impressions of the design, I actually like it. I like the Pixel 6 Pro. Wasn't my favorite out of all of them, but it was still a nice design. It was a different design, and it actually gave it some difference compared to some other brands. So it didn't look like a Samsung device. It didn't look like an Apple device. It didn't look like Xiaomi, OnePlus device, which was really nice. They got more character for their devices, and nobody else has actually used this device. I believe the S10 series, we did have it, but it's not the full length of the device, the camera layout, and then the back just looks pretty okay. You get a lighter color on top. It is still the same color pattern, still greenish tint, but it is lighter than the bottom portion, just like the other Pixel devices. Let me go ahead and actually show you that. So I do have my Pixel 6 Pro on me right now. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out the case so you can actually see the colors. And here it is. So this one, I actually got this charcoal black color. This side, the bottom side, is a little darker. I'm not sure if you can tell that on camera. And the top portion is a lighter grayish color. So still the same design aspect, just some differences, minimal differences, but still the overall same design. So let's pull up that back to the side. Again, we do get two cameras. We get dual cameras instead of triple cameras, and they are located on the left side when you're looking from the back, or the right side if you turn it around. And then we also get our flash right there. So we get two dual 12 megapixel cameras. We get an ultra wide and a wide angle camera, which is nice to know. And then we also get an 8 megapixel selfie camera. So let's go ahead and actually turn this device on and check everything out while that's doing its thing. So let me go ahead and turn it on. All right, heard the vibration. And we also get a flat display. So the 6 and the 6A both get a flat display, which I personally prefer. Looks wise, the 6 Pro definitely looks better on the front. The edge displays always look better. However, usability wise, the flat display, in my personal experience, is so much better to use. So quickly, let's move back to the design. We actually don't get a glass back, so this is a different type of back. This is using plastic. They call it something else. They call it some fancy name, just like how Samsung did it. But let me go ahead and tell you, first impressions, this feels like glass. I don't feel a difference compared to my 6 Pro. They basically feel the same. It's a little different, but just very minimal differences, and you barely can feel it. So I probably wouldn't have an issue there, and I don't think anyone else would, especially for this price point of $450. So it is a pretty decent price, pretty budget friendly device, and you do get a lot from it. We do have some downsides, which I'll get into in a little bit, but for now, I'm really enjoying this device. So let's go ahead and get it set up, get started. We're gonna go ahead and actually connect to Wi-Fi. So let me go ahead and get connected. All right. All right, so we are connected. It's actually obtaining an IP address right now. Getting your phone ready, so this is gonna take a few minutes. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and pause the video right here. I'm gonna wait for this to get set up. I will actually get back to y'all when we are setting up the fingerprint, just to show y'all what it's like. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right here, and I'll see y'all on. All right, so I got the device set up. It was actually fairly easy. All I had to do was actually just connect the cable to my Pixel 6 Pro, and it transferred everything, all the apps. And as you can see, it basically has the same home layout, and it has the same wallpaper and everything. So it's fairly easy to actually go ahead and upgrade to a device from a different device, and that is one of the benefits of switching from a Pixel to a Pixel. So let's go ahead and actually check this device out. So let's go ahead and check out some of the settings that it gets, and also talk about the device while we're using it. So again, we do get a 60 Hertz display. It is a 1080p by 2400. So not the best resolution, but it is still really nice and looks really clear. And right now I can tell you it looks really beautiful, not having any issues, especially with the display that is a lot smaller than some other displays. So again, we do get the Google Tensor, and because of that, we have a fairly strong chipset. The only downside is we get 6 gigabytes of RAM instead of 8, or maybe 8 would have been fine. 8 honestly is a pretty good amount, but that is one of the downsides. So let's go ahead and move on to our battery. So let's move on to our settings and check out some of the settings that we get. Adaptive preferences, we get adaptive charging and adaptive battery, which I will be keeping on. It shows your battery usage, and then we also get a battery saver plus battery percentage. So show battery percentage in the percentage bar, the status bar. So that's about it for the battery settings. Let's go ahead and move on to our display, which is one that I'm actually the one that I actually want to check out. So we get adaptive brightness. We can set our screen time. We can set up our dark theme, so we can do schedule from sunset to sunrise. So basically, when it's sunset, actually after sunset, it'll become dark, and during sunrise, it'll become the light theme. So let's just go ahead and turn on the dark mode, since I do have a white background. I want y'all to be able to see this easier. We can also change your font size, display size, we can also change the colors. So we get nightlight, which turns on automatically at sunset. I actually use this on my 6 Pro. It makes the colors a little warmer and the blue light is a little less, but let's go ahead and actually check it out. So it turns on from sunset to sunrise, so it is automatic. And if I do turn it on now, I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up, but it just got a lot warmer colors. It turned into like this yellowish tint. So colors, we have adaptive, natural, boosted. Boosted is like vivid mode on a Samsung device. Natural is just gonna be the normal mode, so the colors aren't as sharp, but I usually keep it at adaptive, which is my personal favorite. It does it automatically, so you don't have to deal with anything, and I haven't had any issues with the 6 Pro. So again, we don't have our smooth animations options here, and the main reason for that is because we only have a 60 hertz display. So honestly, a 90 hertz would have been a lot better. Budget phones usually are getting the higher refresh rate, but I guess Google just went ahead and decided not to do that. Even though the battery size is actually pretty decent, it's 4,400 milliamp hours, and with my usage with the 6 Pro, which has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, I've had great battery life with that. And this phone right here has a smaller display, lower refresh rate. This will probably last a lot longer than that, and so I don't see any issues with that. I wish they actually included a higher refresh rate display. So we can change your wallpapers and styles, all the usual settings that you get with every Pixel device. You can change wallpaper color, basic colors, dark theme, themed icons, which basically changes the color. So if your theme is a bluish color, it'll change the apps, the icons of the apps into a bluish color, which I don't really prefer. I actually like having all the different colors on there. And then we also get accessibility, security. So security, we do have a security update. I'll just do all that later, but I did go ahead and set up a pin. I didn't set up the fingerprint so I could actually show y'all what it is. So it actually does use a under display fingerprint sensor. No Face ID again. The 6 Pro doesn't get it. This probably wouldn't get it either, especially since this does have a lower resolution 8 megapixel camera, so it wouldn't be as secure. So fingerprint unlock, let me go ahead and enter my pin. Oops. All right, got the pin entered. So set up fingerprint unlock. How it works, we don't really need to read that, but basically just got to touch and hold it, lift, then touch again, lift, then touch again, change the position. So it definitely is a little slower and laggy compared to the 6 Pro. It's actually making me repeat a couple times, which isn't really nice. Place the tip, couldn't process. Use the edges. All right. So definitely a lot slower than the 6 Pro. We do have that issue there, but we did get it set up. So you can actually add a couple just to make it a little faster. That's what I usually do with most of my under display fingerprint sensor devices. I go ahead and set up a couple so you don't really have any issues with that. So let's turn it on, test it out. Works pretty decently. As you can see, not really having any issues. It is a tad bit slower than some devices, but for the price and for what you're getting with this device, honestly, it is pretty decent. So again, Google has really cut some corners with this, lower refresh rate, and then we do get a lower resolution display. We also get less RAM compared to some other phones. 8 gigs is honestly the best amount you can get with an Android device. It's the most decent and the most, I guess you get most usability with that, but they went ahead and not did that. So let's move on to our camera app real quick, check out some camera settings, and I'll give you all my final thoughts, and that'll basically wrap it up for this. So an update is available for camera. I will do all this later, but for now, let's go ahead and check some settings out. So photo settings, we get all the usual settings, but I want to go to video. For video, we get our slow motion, time lapse. And then for the quality, we do record at 4K 60. Again, we do have two 12 megapixel sensors on the back. They are older models, so they're not the ones located in the 6 Pro. But again, they probably do their job pretty decently. I will go ahead and take some photos with these and try and get them posted on Twitter and Instagram. But again, they probably will take some pretty decent photos. So if we do switch it around and have our 8 megapixel selfie camera up here, as you can see, we cannot change any video settings, and the main reason for that is because we have a, we only get 1080p 30 FPS on the selfie camera. So that is a little bummer. I wish you got at least 60 frames per second with that, or even 4K 30, but they went ahead and I guess the phone couldn't handle it. I do know with my personal usage with Pixel devices, it does get a little hot when you're recording videos. So I guess this was the best option for Google. We get time-lapse, slow motion, all the usual camera features that you get with other devices. We do get our portrait mode, as you can see. And again, we do have two cameras. We have our ultra wide, which is a 12 megapixel sensor or wide, and we have a 2x digital zoom. So it will zoom max up to 7. It'll get a 7x zoom max, which isn't the best, but again, for what you're, I guess for what you're paying, it is pretty okay. I'm not gonna complain too much. So that is basically it. We do get our night shots as well, but again, camera pretty decent. We get some features, we don't get too many, but for now it is okay. So that will basically wrap it up for this video. My final thoughts: pretty decent device for the price that you're paying. You are getting a lot with it, and especially since you're getting the cool Tensor with this, which is the same chipset in the 6 Pro, you are going to be able to do most. You're gonna be able to do most things with your phone. You probably won't be able to you won't struggle with anything other than because of the RAM. 6 gigs isn't too much, and the selfie camera isn't the best, but I will actually go ahead and test these out a little more and give you all an update later on. So that will basically wrap it up for this video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.